Hey, hello, I'm with Richie Bostcok, the breath guy, and we are in one of the most amazing and emblematic places in Ibiza, just enjoying one amazing sunset in Esvedra. Richie, welcome to Ibiza.
It's my first time in seeing Esvedra in the sunset. It's just
We are just
magical.
Yes.
You kind of think you can see it in the video, but it's just starting to come under the clouds now. It's very, very special. Wow.
And I want Richie tell us, because you know Richie is one of our teachers at Mangelda yoga retreats and is coming to Colombia, and I would like he share with us a little bit more about his experience as the breath guy teaching. I hear that the last time you have over 2,000 people lie down just breathing. That might be amazing. So tell us about you and what you are doing and what's your mission, actually.
I mean, that was a pretty special moment. That was in a festival in Hyde Park where we had 2,000 people do yoga and then do a breathwork session straight afterwards. And to have, that over 2,000 people lying down and just breathing for about half an hour, a bit over half an hour, was amazing. Just seeing all these chests and bellies go up and down and people having a really nice time.
And the energy.
I mean,
it
was. After it was done, I was floating on a cloud. Like it was immense and something very, very special. And we had some really incredible music to go with it as well. We had a live choir who was singing and these like a cappella versions of these amazing songs.
Because it's a very important part of your breath work is the music. I enjoy that. It's like the combination of both things. It's just...
Everyone knows, like, if you took the music or the soundtrack away from a movie that you see in a cinema, I mean, half the emotion, half the impact gets taken out. The sound is so powerful and impactful in the way that we think and the way that we feel and what our experience of a moment is. So to be able to curate a breathwork session using music as well is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. Now, there is benefit in doing breathing without music sometimes as well, maybe to the sound of the waves going across the shore or the wind in the trees. But for me, the music is very, very important. And I put a lot of effort into trying to create a journey and rather than let just me facilitate, also allow the music to hold the space and to facilitate as well.
Tell us more specifically about the different techniques you are using to help people with the breathing to overcome fears, release traumas, or re-energize.
When I first got into breathwork, I became obsessed. Like I have one of those personalities where as soon as I find something I like, I can't stop going down the hole of working out what else is there. So I spent 3.5 years traveling all over the world, learning from anyone who was doing something interesting with breathing. So whether it was breathwork masters, yogis, therapists, counselors, doctors, physiotherapists, researchers, athletic coaches, learning from all these people who are doing these amazing things with the breath. So there are so many ways to be able to use your breathing, so many different techniques, and even more ways to put them together to create different effects. So, when we lie down and do breathing sessions, more often it's to step back out of the normal world, to be able to shut off all our senses, shut off the critical thinking, judging mind, and go into a different part of ourselves and have a different experience. And that can be used for healing, that could be used for rest and relaxation, that could be used to create energy, that could be used to just have a profound experience and connect with something outside of our normal day-to-day experience. Lots and lots of different ways. And sometimes I go into businesses and go into banks and we get all like the corporate men and women lying down. I remember I went to a certain bank in London where I teach, and we had 80 bankers in their suits, in their work outfits, lying on the ground doing breathing techniques for 45 minutes just to feel amazing, to increase their clarity, to increase their ability to make better decisions, to be able to have more energy and more focus and to get into a state of flow, but also just feel really good for no reason other than that they can breathe.
It's magical. I experienced that, and for me was one of the most really, because as a yogi I used to do a lot of breath work, but it was totally different experience with the open mouth, all the body shaking, and the energy I felt was just kind of like, wow, what's going on around here. And it's true that breathing is, we used to say we just need one conscious inhalation and exhalation to bring you to the present moment, and it's the shorter path to spiritual life. But it's also one of the, I think it's the only system, the breathing, that can be automatic or controlled. So tell us a little bit more about the science behind the breath work and the impact it has in the central nervous system and in the whole being.
So you hit it right on the head. It's the only function that runs completely unconsciously, but that we also have complete control over. And the reason why that is because it's governed by this part of our nervous system called the autonomic nervous system. And this nervous system governs everything that happens in the body without you having to think about it. So whether it's your heart beating, the secretion of hormones, the digesting food, all these things that you don't have to think about but happen for you are governed by this nervous system. Now, the only part of this nervous system that we actually have control over, or that we have to be able to influence it, is our breathing. So think of the breath kind of like the gateway or the highway to get into this nervous system and change how it's functioning. So this nervous system will dictate if you are feeling relaxed, if you feel energized and activated. We talk about things like having very healing or mystical experiences. This is all sits in that nervous system as well. So we can actually use the breath to get into this nervous system. And once you understand what the breath does, length of inhales, length of exhales, what pausing and not breathing does, if you take deep breaths or shallow breaths, fast breaths or slow breaths, once you understand all the different levers that you can play with this breath and what it does in the nervous system, it means that you have a very powerful tool to be able to change how you think, how you feel, your performance, you name it. The breath can do it all for you.
And we have this magical tool, as you said, right under our nose.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of the body that everybody has, but not everyone realizes that they have.
And that's the main thing. Can you give us small tips about small techniques to use the breath in a normal day? If you suddenly feel you are stressed, you are tired, re-energize or slow down or elevate the self-esteem. Give us small tips that people can do it even in their office.
Yeah, of course. So, as a general rule of thumb, if you breathe slower, it's more relaxing. And this sounds quite obvious, but at the same time, not many people actually use it. Yeah. So, the more that you are able to slow down your breath, relax your breathing, then the more it's going to have a relaxing, calming effect on your nervous system. So, if you are in a state of stress, the easiest thing that you can do is breathe in and out through your nose, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. It's called coherence breathing. You can look more into it maybe later, but it's researched out of the States as the best cadence of breathing or speed of breathing, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out.
But with the awareness totally in the process when you are counting.
It's impossible to not have awareness when you're doing it. Otherwise, you're not actually doing it. You mentioned it before, the breath's never in the past, it's never in the future, it's always right here, right now. So if you're focusing on your breath, it means that you are completely present. That's a beautiful, beautiful technique.
For relaxation. If you need to re-energize, you are having a very difficult day and you need to kind of Red Bull breathing.
Yeah, well, that's it. I use this one all the time at offices and corporates and businesses. Often it gets to about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and people will go, "Oh, I need another cup of coffee to make it through the rest of the day." Well, this is a really great breath to use instead of that cup of coffee. So, if a relaxing breath is slow and gentle, then maybe an energizing breath is a bit faster with a bit more vigor and a bit more energy. So we can do something called the Energizer Bunny, which is one of my favorites, and I use this all the time. It's 3 inhales through the nose, followed by a relaxed exhale or sigh through the mouth, but it's quite fast. So if to demonstrate, it kind of goes like this. So it's quite a fast breath.
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Ooh, that's quite a long time. You can do it for 30 seconds and you'll get a nice press. If you do it for a minute, you'll be feeling a bit buzzy, a bit lightheaded, which is perfectly safe, by the way. You can feel lightheaded, that's okay. That lightheadedness disappears very quickly, but the energy and that buzz that you create, that remains for you for the rest of the day.
And then you start feeling the whole body gaining energy and
Well, particularly those physical sensations in the body really are felt when you lie down and do these really deep styles of breath work, similar to what we're going to do in Colombia. Yeah, where you lie down for anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours and breathe in certain ways to create big shifts in your physiology and therefore the way that you think and feel and experience what your reality is. So that's very exciting. I'm looking
tell
forward to
us
that.
what are you planning to do in Colombia? I think maybe we will have time to have 4 sessions for breath work. So, well, I think you prefer to be there and feel the group, and also we're going to be in an amazing island, in Baru Island, and it is going to be for the 20 to up to 29 February 2020. And Richie is coming with us, along with the whole group of Mangelda teachers, an amazing group. We already did another transformation week, and it's just, wow, powerful. And the breath may play a very important role in this week. So share us a little bit more about the plan for this.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned it. I very rarely will go with a plan because it really depends on what's happening with the group and what feels right. But just to give you some examples, of what could happen. A breathwork session in the kind of the style that we'll do in Colombia practically is you lie down on your back and you breathe in certain ways for extended periods of time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe up to 1 hour. And when we breathe in these ways, we start to influence this autonomic nervous system, which starts to make all these changes in the body that really can affect your experience at that present moment. And you can use various techniques to create the various experiences you want to influence and impact. So whether it's to go into deep emotional healing states, to take dives into yourself to see what is happening. Maybe there are things in your past that are holding you back, that don't serve you or fuel limiting belief patterns or limiting behaviors. We can use the breath to be able to scoop underneath all those things and throw it out.
Release all this.
Exactly. So you can use it like that. You can use it to connect. So maybe we'll breathe in ways because we're in a beautiful place. So maybe we'll breathe in certain ways to connect with nature.
In open space, using the music also.
Exactly. Create feelings of oneness. Maybe we'll breathe in certain ways just to go into beautiful states of flow. But the most important thing is that, sure, you'll have an amazing experience there, but you'll also learn. You'll create experiences for yourself of, oh, I didn't know that I could feel this way just by breathing. And then you have a tool. Then you have something that you can use any moment of any day for the rest of your life to be able to go inwards, to go outwards, or to just be. Those are just a few. The breath can be used for so many different reasons, and we'll just have to see what the group's like and what the energy's like, and we'll go from there.
And the amazing thing is you have the capacity with the techniques to guide the group to go deep within, to heal or to have a mystical experience going up. And you told me music and closed or open space are very important to decide the intention behind the practice. But as you said, we will feel that there in Colombia. Now I want you to tell us where people can find you. thebreathguy.com, Instagram, The Breath Guy.
Those are the main places to find me right now. I post a lot of stuff on Instagram and most of my events and techniques and useful bits of information that I find really interesting. I'll always share it with people who might be interested.
Someone that want to have one-to-one session can be done through internet, or they have to come to London where you live?
It depends. Yeah, because there are certain things that we can do online, but there are certain things where it needs to be physical, hands-on work.
Oh, okay.
So it really just depends, I have people who want to just talk about how to breathe for stress and anxiety, and how can you create strategies or breathing protocols for that, and that's super easy to do online. Sometimes there's some body work that needs to be done though, some physical manipulation of the body to release tension, to be able to stretch out certain fascia, certain ligaments, and that requires presence.
Yes.
I unfortunately haven't worked out a way to do that through the internet yet, but maybe we'll get there one day.
But people in South America, there is a great opportunity. In February, he will be with us in Cartagena de Indias, Colombia. Richie Bostcok from London, the breath guys. Thank you so much, Richie.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me. The sun's gone.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.